Right, welcome ladies and gents. A bit of a movie news video today. It'd be really interesting to see what you guys think of this. The Bourne franchise, you guys know it, we've seen it. It essentially shaped modern action movies for a little while. For those that don't think that, it absolutely did, 100%. The sort of Jason Bourne brutality, where he was just picking up anything and beating the crap out of, everyone with anything available to him. It spawned like a whole range of movies using exactly the same type of action. And previous to that, we hadn't really seen it, actually. Well, anyway, it's that the rights are being shopped around. They have now left Universal. Not something... I didn't think anyone knew that this was going to happen or has come up. It's not around in the sort of zeitgeist and the movie-talking realm. It's just happened. But this is a blow for Universal. It's good that it's leaving Universal, though. Hopefully it leaves Universal and they don't retain them. And the reason why I say that is Universal... You know what? YouTubers have a really bad relationship with Universal because they abuse YouTube's copyright system. Like, actually, full-blown, just abuse it. And they're arseholes, and as a result of that, that's why you'll never see me react to any Universal movie trailer, because they just, copyright strikes and all manner of nonsense from lawyers emailing you, and it's just not worth the hassle. So I'm glad it's going to leave them, because they don't deserve to have IPs when they do stuff like that, quite frankly. So let's take a look at this. Again, this is not what I had on my bingo card list for this year, but it's interesting nonetheless. Hit subscribe, ladies and gents, if you are new here and you want to stay up to date on the world of pop culture, movie news, movie reviews, and also a little bit of other commentary here and there. But let's take a look. So this is an exclusive to The Hollywood Reporter. It dropped yesterday, a little bit late for me, so I didn't get around to doing a video yesterday. But yeah, Jason Bourne franchise is being shopped as the rights now leave Universal. So the Robert Ludlum estate has been taking meetings with players including Skydance, Apple, Netflix, for a potential reboot of the Spy franchise. Now, that's a potential reboot. Doesn't mean it's going to get rebooted. They could choose to continue it in some format. A tangential continuation. We don't know. There's not enough information there. So Jason Bourne is emptying out his safety deposit box on the Universal lot. WME is shopping the rights to the Spy franchise and the rest of the Robert Ludlum library on behalf of the late author's estate. Now that's interesting. So it's all of Robert Ludlum's library, basically. So it's not just the Bourne franchise. So the goal is to find a... You know what's interesting about this? This could rival... And I know this is going to sound dumb to some people, but I stand by it because of the current state of it. This, if done right, could rival James Bond. I know. Blah, blah, blah. Don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. But it could. I think it could. I 100% think it could. The Daniel Craig movies even copied the style of action that the Bourne franchise had essentially popularised. But I firmly do believe that this could actually rival James Bond. And the reason why... I mean, James Bond, it's a disaster of a franchise right now. It's an absolute disaster. It's currently with Amazon. They've bought it basically outright. They control it now. I mean, who wants to see an Amazon Prime bloody James Bond? I don't think anyone does. Just their name behind it is offensive almost. Whereas this, I think if it goes to the right people and they nurture it in the right way, I think could 100% rival James Bond. And I think this is it could be a really good move and actually could see us have some really good films being released. So we'll see. But anyway, it says here that the goal is to find a new home for the franchise and make the Super Spy a more regular presence on screen. So again, it's that element of James Bonding, right? James Bonding. But it is though, right? Like it's having him regularly on screen, having regular movies, regular outings, regular action flicks. And this is also actually what the movie industry needs as a whole, right? We need to get away from these stupid tentpole box office smash hit blockbuster fucking superhero movies all the time that these movie studios are banking on non-stop, and get back to these smaller budgets, because they are smaller budget action movies. We used to have them all the time. I think this could be a really good move. But yeah, Bourne last appeared nearly a decade ago. in Jason Bourne 2016 from Universal and producer Captivate Entertainment, which manages the film rights for the Ludlam estate. It is too early to say if longtime star Matt Damon would be involved in the new iteration. I mean, again, that's the fact that it has been so long. You know, loads of people are always like, oh, another one. I agree, right? For a lot of stuff, I do agree. But the Bourne movies, there's something which I think they've been off screen long enough, right? They've been off screen long enough. There's enough there where they haven't fully developed and explored, where I don't think that this would have the same eye roll reaction that a lot of other movie properties would have. I could be wrong, and you could be rolling your eyes at me right now hearing all of this. But I feel like it being off screen for basically a decade, it's not that explored, it's not that tapped. I think this could go down really well. And I genuinely do think that it could be a rival for James Bond. So Skydance, Apple and Netflix are said to have met with the estate for the rights. Universal too, fuck off, could potentially win the rights back. Please do not go back to Universal. Don't get me wrong, they have made some good movies, right? They make good films. Just no. It'd be good for someone else to have the rights. Give it to Skydance. If Skydance are the people behind the they've been behind quite a lot of movies recently. They were doing I'm fairly certain they've been behind some of the Mission Impossible movies lately. They were definitely behind Top Gun Maverick. So they are one of the last bastions of masculinity in cinema. So give it to them. Like, I think they do a good job with this. They've bettered their films lately, for sure. So Jason Bourne sprung from the mind of novelist Ludlam, who published The Bourne Identity in 1980. 2 decades later, star Damon and director Doug Liman introduced him to the big screen with 2002's The Bourne Identity. The film coming a few years before Daniel Craig's grounded reinvention of James Bond. They copied it. Casino Royale ushered in a new era of spy movies that favoured realism rather than high-tech gadgets. Yeah. It spawned 2 sequels based on Ludlam's book, The Bourne Ultimatum and The Bourne Supremacy. Universal extended the franchise with Jeremy Renner playing a different character in The Bourne Legacy, but it did not stick. Damon returned a few years later with Jason Bourne, which earned $415 million globally. I like that movie. I watched that. That was pretty decent. The Bourne move comes as the land rush for IP intensifies. With fewer and fewer known properties up for grabs, Amazon in recent weeks took control of James Bond. And in recent years, Universal had toyed with bringing Bourne back, with Conclave director Edward Berger hired in late 2023 to develop a new take, but it did not come to fruition fast enough, which makes sense. So there you go. I mean, that's the news, right? That's the news. Who do you want to have it? That's the question I will leave you with. Who do you want to have it? Let me know down below. Anyway, cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.